Morning, everyone. I'm out here on this gorgeous North Carolina morning to get a little perspective. Here to talk about taxes, because if you can tell by the way the trees are leaving out, it's tax season here in North Carolina. And if you've been paying any attention to North Carolina politics and policy, you probably know that the leadership of the General Assembly has passed wave after wave of tax cuts over the last several years, dating back to 2013 and running all the way up through the session last year. Now, they like to talk a big game about how that benefits working North Carolinians and middle-class folks, but the reality is that the overwhelming benefit of those tax cuts has gone to extremely wealthy taxpayers, many of whom don't even live here in North Carolina. So we know that they've been unbalanced, but sometimes it's actually hard to put into context just how unbalanced those tax cuts have been. And what they mean is that we've been walking away from our collective commitment to a vibrant state, to educational systems that do right by our children, to safe communities, to clean drinking water, to all of the things that your taxes actually buy for you. So to put it into context, we're going to translate some of those tax cuts into steps to really give a sense of just how much different the experience for the wealthiest folks are compared to the average taxpayer here in North Carolina. So we're going to be walking away from this little library that can represent our collective commitment to things like education here in North Carolina. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to step off. Every step I take is going to translate into $100 in a tax cut. So first, we're going to start with the average tax cut for the bottom 80%. So that's most everybody here in North Carolina and how much tax cut they got. So you can watch my feet as I go so you can see that I'm counting right. And so that's about $700, a little bit shy of $700 is what the average taxpayer in the bottom 80% received cumulatively based on the tax cuts that have been passed since 2013. So we're going to walk back over here, and now I'm going to start counting off in $100 increments for every step the size of the tax cut for the average taxpayer in the top 1%, the top 1%. And buckle up because we're probably going to be here for a little while. Now, you can see we've already come a pretty fair piece, but we ain't all the way there yet. Now, I might have miscounted by a step or two, but that's 470 steps, give or take, which is the equivalent of a $47,000 tax cut for the average taxpayer in the top 1%. And that's walking pretty far away from investing in the future of North Carolina.